Good evening, ladies as well as gentlemen. Papa Boris here with some more Hearthstone Arena action. This is a really good choice of classes. It's been a while since I've done Warlock or Priest. They were done kind of back to back. I have a lot more Priest videos than Warlock videos on my channel though, so I'm going to go ahead and grab Warlock here to try to balance things out a little bit. The agenda with Warlock is going to be similar to what it always is. We're going to try to go aggro if the draft allows it, and if not, well then so be it. So here, the questing adventure can of course be really good sometimes, especially if you do end up playing aggro later in the game. You can play this and play a bunch of 1-mana creatures and be really good. But I don't want to play stuff later in the game. I want some stuff I can play right away. So Secret Keeper is unplayable garbage, and the Auctioneer, it's not a 5-mana card I would mind having as a Warlock. Warlocks do have Soulfire, which is a 0-mana spell that you can play right after you play the Auctioneer. So I'd rather have an Azure Drake for sure, but the Auctioneer should be good for a card a lot of the time. Oh, jeez. Well, ball sacks is all I have to say here. I don't like summoning Portal in the arena because it's hard to craft a deck where this actually works. So I'm going to take the Southsea Deckhand. It's a 2-1 for 1, folks. That's what it is, but I really feel like it's the right call over this other stuff. Wow, another Gadsden Auctioneer. Well, I don't want two. I don't like this Void Terror, so we're going to... By the way, I've tried this, guys. I've tried this so much. I came so far, and in the end it didn't even matter. I just couldn't get this Void Terror to ever work well for me. So we're going to go ahead and grab It Master. Totally fine dropping this on turn 3. It provides stuff that's good for being buffed and so forth. Okay, so here I can take Fen Creeper. The advantage of this is that if you do have an aggro fast start, dropping this on turn 5 is the most maddening thing for your opponent, because you've got all these little creatures around, they want to kill them, and then there's this giant taunt in the way, and it's like, ah. But I'm going to take Chillwind Yeti, because I'd rather have a 4-drop than a 5-drop at this point in the draft. Still, there's a chance that aggro will work. And I don't want this. I don't want to try to commit to aggro at the expense of, a premier 4 or 5-drop. But the Chillwind Yeti is cheaper and hits a little bit harder, and, will fit a little bit better if the deck does end up having an aggro bent. Okay, well, Leper Gnome is exactly what I want. This is a really good 1-drop. It's what you want if you're trying to go for aggro, so that's awesome. Here we have to choose between Mortal Coil, which is removal, but a bit touchy. It's not always going to work. Or a Harvest Golem. Now, the Yeti, I think, is fine, but I think this is a premier 3-drop, this is a premier 4-drop. If we're going to try to go aggro, 3-drops are going to be really important to have. So the question is, do I pass the Harvest Golem to take Mortal Coil? Mortal Coil is a card I frequently find myself wishing my opponent does not have when I play against Warlocks. At the same time, I don't want to pass on the opportunity for a Harvest Golem, so I'm going to take it here, even though that's a little bit risky. Okay, Novice Engineer is great. I don't want this Silence, although it can be used to bypass taunts. I'd rather have, cheaper creatures, and currently I have none. And the card draw is really nice, plus if you buff it later with a Raid Leader, Wolf, Shattered Sun Cleric, Dark Iron Dwarf, any of those, then this thing drew a card and gets to trade or deal damage. Either way is fine, so we're going to pick it up here. Okay, I'm not going to take Mad Bomber, so we're going to take a Frostwolf Grunt. Sometimes the taunt is nice. I've lost games just because my opponent had like a 1-3 taunt. In fact, in a recent arena, I had like a 9-9 that was forced to attack into a 1-3 Mogishan Warden, and it was the most painful experience of my life. So having any taunt at all sometimes is just all that matters, and it puts another cheap creature into our deck. Okay, so here, rather than take a generic 2-3 for 2, we'll pick up a Mortal Coil. Don't want this. It's too slow. This is not an aggro card, because it's very weak when it drops onto the board. You want things that have a more immediate impact if you're going to put a 5-mana card in the deck. Alright, well, so this is a tough choice. I'm going to have to think about this one, actually. So I don't think the Sun Fury Protector is really a candidate here. I think that what you have to consider is either the Young Priestess or the Drake. Now, the Drake is good because spell damage is nice. It can help you, get a little bit of extra juice out of your Soulfires and Hellfires and whatnot, plus card draw. But the Young Priestess is a 1-drop. If you coin it out with another 1-drop on turn 1, that's really good, because then the 1-drop that you play gets an extra health, which can make it survive against, say, a Mage's Hero ability and whatnot. So it's a very tempting choice here. We have to kind of choose to go more aggro, or we have to choose to go more closing. I'm going to take the Azure Drake. It's not an easy decision. I might regret not having this Young Priestess around, but a lot of times she's just going to be a generic 2-1 for 1, unless you play it later in the game, and this, however, is always going to be a solid closer to the deck. Alright, well, Blood Imp is a really easy choice. That's great. It also helps your stuff survive and so forth. Okay, I could take a generic 2-3 for 2, but I really don't want to do that. We'll take a Razorfin Hunter. This is great. I'm getting some really good 3-drops. Gonna need some more 1-drops and 2-drops, hopefully, in the last 2/3 of the draft. Don't take Corruption. This card's terrible. I'm just gonna take a very, very solid 3-drop right there. Oh, geez. Well, taking an Earthen Ring Farseer. This actually is good for Warlocks. It gives you an extra life tap, or helps you not die from the life tapping that you had been doing. Alright, Drain Life I do not like. Sense Demons is definitely playable. Right now, all it finds is a Blood Imp. Master is not a demon, sadly. So yeah, don't really feel the pressure to take that just yet. We'll take another Leper Gnome. So we're definitely going into the aggro mold here. Okay, Raging Organ is definitely tempting, but I'm going to take Demon Fire. It is nice to have some removal in the deck to clear things out. Panther, sure, we'll do that. Another Leper Gnome? Oh my god, is this going to be the deck of Leper Gnomes? I think so. These cards are alright, but they're not really what I want, and I might as well load up on 1-drops here. Okay, so here I could take a Hellfire. There was a time when I was playing aggro and I really regretted not having a Hellfire. Basically, if the game gets away from you a little bit, it's nice to have a reset. Also, the damage is good as well. But I'm going to take a Loot Hoarder instead because the card draw is nice and I'm a little bit lacking for 2-drops. Alright, we'll take the charging one over the card drawing one. It can be removal or extra damage depending on the situation. And I don't want Shadow Flame in this deck. Do I take another Imp Master or do I take the Arcane Golem? So the advantage of the Imp Master is I can play it on turn 3. It's an empty board kind of card. The advantage of the Arcane Golem is it's 4 damage and it can help me close out games. I'm going to take the Arcane Golem here. I think this deck might need a little bit of extra punch. Okay, so here we have an opportunity for a second Blood Imp, but it's really worth considering this Boulder Fist Ogre. Even aggro decks need to have some kind of closing creatures. So is it worth taking this Ogre over a Blood Imp? I don't think it is, but I hope I see another one later in the last third of this draft so that we can have some closing power. Okay, I don't like Succubus at all. I know this is an aggro deck and I should really be playing it, but I have to consider the Ancient Brewmaster. We're really lacking for 4-drops here, just the Chillwind Yeti. But you know what? Alright, we'll try it. I've gotten some feedback that I should really give this a fair shake. You just have to suck it up that you might lose a good card and hope the 4-3 is worth it. So we'll give it another shot here. Ah, very tough choice between the best 2-drop in the game or the Stormwind Knight, which is an excellent closing type of card. I'll take the Imani Berserker. I think it makes a huge difference when it drops on turn 2, although I'm definitely sad to be passing that up. Okay, I could have gotten one here, but we'll take a Worgen Infiltrator instead then. And Shattered Sun Cleric is exactly what I need. That's really, really awesome. Okay, so I don't want Summoning Portal with this sort of a curve. We'll take a Tiger, though. This is a really great finisher. It doesn't have charge, but it almost does. Almost, because your opponent really can't mess with it very easily when it's out on the field. There are ways to freeze it or kill it. Very difficult, though, to kill a 5-health stealth creature, so this is what I need in my life right now. Okay, so I could take a Lord of the Arena for some closing power. Is Kobold Geomancer any good? It'll help Mortal Coil be super extra awesome. It'll help Demon Fire. That's it, though. Don't see any Soulfires, don't see any Shadow Bolts. Alright, we'll take, let me think. I could take Tauren Warrior here as a pretty mediocre 3-drop. Let's see, how many 3-drops do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Don't think I need any more. Yeah, we'll take this just to have some kind of endgame. I'd rather have a Boulder Fist Ogre, but that'll do. Ah, okay. Here's where we grab a Hellfire for some extra closing power. And, yeah, we'll take an Owl to clear away any taunts that we might encounter. And this guy is a really nice 3-drop. Okay, so I don't know if this is actually going to work, folks. This was almost a little bit too much of a good thing. I think I might actually want to trade a Blood Imp for a Boulder Fist Ogre now. So we have Lord of the Arena at the top of our curve. That's pretty much it. We have the 5-drops, though. They're not super hard. Alright, and they're not super large. It's the Auctioneer and the Azure Drake, so they're not, like, big things. We really do need to hit our drops in these games. If we start with a handful of 3-drops and 4-drops, we're going to be in trouble. Alright, Rexxar is not a good matchup for us. As I've often said, Hunters are pretty good against Warlocks. What I'm going to do is I'll keep the Worgen Infiltrator and the Coil and the Golem. So the idea here is that I can play this on turn 1. On turn 2, I can coin out the Golem, and hopefully by turn 3, I will have drawn some other 1-drops and 2-drops to play and keep the pressure up. Golem is a good thing to see against Hunters because it really survives like all their removal. Deadly Shot, Multi-Shot, Explosive Trap, you name it, it survives it. The only thing that can really get to it is a Freezing Trap, which is kind of irritating, but that's fine. Sadly, didn't top deck another 1-drop or I would have coined it out. But this is a pretty decent start. Fairy Dragon. Okay. Well, we can be ballsy, or we can be safe. Well, one way or another, I'm definitely going to be playing a Harvest Golem. So do I get the 2 extra damage in, or do I take the safe way out and trade? If he has a Shattered Sun Cleric, then this will be able to kill off the Infiltrator, but then I'll be able to Mortal Coil it. No, I won't, because it will be untargetable. Ah, jeez. If he has a Shattered Sun Cleric and I don't make this trade right here, it'll wreck me. But I'm an aggro deck. If I don't clear this out when I have the chance, the extra 2 damage might make all the difference. Alright, we're going to go ahead and attack him. Risky. It's very risky. But right now, I have this golem. There's a bit of extra insurance against this Fairy Dragon. It will kill it if he chooses not to trade the Infiltrator. Alright, so he has his own 1-drop. Alright, he's going to buff this up to be 3 health. Well, I can't say that's a bad play. I cannot say it's a bad play at all, especially with this being untargetable. Oh my god, if only I could hit this with a Mortal Coil, that'd be so great. Well, I could use the Arcane Golem to kill it off, certainly. But let's actually do this. We're going to Mortal Coil here, draw a card. That seems like a pretty good use of my time. And the Succubus is a little bit unappealing because this will just kill it. So instead, we're going to play a Bluegill Warrior. Let's put it in the middle here. And we're going to go for the race. If my opponent wants to race, a race he shall have. I think I am just going to suck it up and give him the extra mana soon here, unless I get some really compelling plays. Oh my gosh, he actually has a silence. That's not good. So the Golem is looking a little sad now. And he is actually going to continue racing me. Well, he's dealing 5-7 damage a turn. I've got 6. I don't know. I don't think he's making the right choice here with the racing. It's a tough call, though. Alright, if that's what he wants to do, that's what he's going to do. I am just going to go ahead and swing all of it at his face. Aggro is as aggro does. Alright, now an Explosive Track would definitely ruin my life. It would kill off like all of my creatures except for this Golem. So yeah, I might lose if he has Explosive Trap. But that's how aggro works. You just there's always an out your opponent could have that will just ruin your life. You gotta count on losing those games rarely and winning more frequently. Oh, that's also not good. I need my Ironbeak Owl really, really badly right now. And I don't have it. Demon Fire doesn't work. None of these things are demons. Oh, jeez. Well, we gotta do what we gotta do. This Abomination is really good, and I could life tap, see if I get an Owl. Then I won't be able to play the Auctioneer. I don't really want to play him anyway. Okay, yep, we're gonna life tap, see if I can get my Owl. Not a chance. Jeez. Alright, well, that's what happens. It is what happens. So the question is, do I trade here, or do I hit him down to 8? Well, he can hit me down to 8, down to 6. I think I need to do the trade now, unfortunately. And we're going to play Succubus. Alright, Hellfire. I'm not super happy about losing that, because that is a burn. That could have been handy. Oh, the Abomination. Oh no, that's not good. Jesus. I really need my Owl. Oh my god, I cannot believe how desperately I need my silence. I need it very desperately. Oh my god, I actually got it. I actually got the silence. Whew. So I'm gonna do this. Gonna Demon Fire this baby. We're gonna swing for 6. Alright, well, this is it. He can get me down to 6, down to 4. If he's got 4 damage, he wins the game. Lots of things will deal the 4 damage that he needs right now. So I wish I hadn't thrown Hellfire away, because then I'd be threatening the kill. Oh my goodness. No! Don't hit me in the face, Mad Bomber. Oh god. Does he have the kill? Eaglehorn Bow! This Mad Bomber actually won him the goddamn game. I can't believe it. I mean, he had 3 other cards. He might have had like a backup plan there for sure. He could always have killed my Succubus, and then I would have only had 3 damage. Without Hellfire, I wouldn't have had the kill. But that's annoying. That was really annoying. So I guess I should have traded. I guess I should have traded early on, because my creatures all ended up dying to the Abomination. So had I ended up pausing, making a little pit stop to kill off that Fairy Dragon, I would have been fine. And you know what? That Young Priestess giving the Fairy Dragon an extra point of health made all the difference in the world, because it stopped all my 2-power creatures, which I had in great abundance from killing it. Damn! Oh my god, that was a frustrating game. Well, he had the Abomination, and I didn't have the silence until 2 turns too late. So that was that. Top Motion, the Shaman, is our next opponent. I don't want this Owl, and I do like the Blade Master, but my deck is full of 3-drops. Let's get a 2-drop that we can actually play, huh? Alright, Blood Imp, you'll have to do. Now the problem is that Blood Imp, even with the Blood Imp's help, the Leper Gnome and the Blood Imp will both die to Forked Lightning. And that will be a sucky start for me. But that's what we're going to have to do. It's how you play it as aggro. You just have to hope that in the long run, your opponents won't have the key outs they need. Fuck you, Owl. I hate you, die. I hate you, die. Where were you last game? Now you're showing up in my opening hand, and in my second hand after I mulligan you like a little bitch. Okay. So Leper Gnome's nice. It can kill totems, but probably be ignoring totems for the most part. Oh, geez. Murloc Tide Color. That must have been a bad pack. Alright, well, we're going to go ahead and play the Imp here. So that's kind of nice. We get to kill off this Tide Collar and lift the hell about it. Now, the reason I'm not ignoring this is that if he played that card, there is a chance he actually got some Murlocs. Like, let's say he has the 2-1 Murloc Tide Hunter. Like, that would be really obnoxious. So I think foregoing 2 damage to get a little bit of card advantage early on is fine. Alright, he's got the coin. Hope it's not a Feral Spirit. Please don't be Feral Spirit. Oh, okay. Well, that's actually alright. I can silence that. Yeah. Succubus. See, this is what I hit. I don't want to lose my silence against this golem. No, I'm just going to play the Harvest Golem. And we're going to swing for the face. Not going to reveal my Blood Imp here. It would just die to the golem. That would be awfully silly. So next turn, I might actually play a Succubus, and if I lose the Drake, then so be it. So he kills the Leper Gnome. Makes a totem. Hopefully it's not a taunt. It's not a taunt. Excellent. Forked Lightning doesn't really kill this, which is nice. So I never saw any Soulfire. I never saw any Shadow Bolt. I never saw any Power Overwhelming. I guess there are a lot of key Warlock cards I never saw here. Let's draw a card. You should always draw cards first. It Master. Alright, well, here's a good use for the Owl, so we'll do this. And we're going to take time to kill it off. Alright, well, everybody has one card that will kind of do it for them against an aggro deck. For Shamans, that's Lightning Storm. Luckily, it's a rare, so I'm reasonably likely not to get bitten by it.
I hope you like my invention.
Alright. So the main decision that I need to make here is, do I stop and kill this spell damage totem? That's what I'm not really sure about. Do I try to go for the control game and clear out his creatures? I mean, this is a shaman we're talking about here, so it's possible that he will like do a bloodlust or something at some point. But then again, I'm at 30 health. Let me think. You know what? I'm gonna clear the board. Just gonna clear everything out here. And I'm gonna... Oh, I should have done this first. My apologies. I should have done it first. I'm drawing a card, but I don't have any 0 mana spells here, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Okay. Do I reveal this guy here? I don't think so. I don't have any taunts to protect him here, so revealing him seems a little bit premature.
Squire, attend me. Ready, sir.
Okay. Well, I think here is where we start to race. Full thrusters.
If you're sure.
Demon Fire deals 3 damage to a minion. I don't really need that yet. Do I give him the extra mana right here? He's already going to hit 6, which is Fire Elemental territory. So yeah, I might as well do this. The problem is, then my curve is awkward. I really would like to play this Leper Gnome and the Imp Master and the Succubus, but then I lose the Arcane Golem in a 50-50 coin flip. God, I really just don't like Succubus. I like my cards that I draw. All right, we're going to go ahead and think. The Imp Master's actually not good because I already have so many creatures on the board. She's not going to actually have room for the Imp. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to play the Arcane Golem, run in, play Leper Gnome, and I'm going to put Demon Fire on my Blood Imp and just keep him chilling. So he's ready to go, basically, for 3 extra damage if I need it. It's a nice use of Blood Imp, by the way. It's stealthy. You think of it as like stealthing to not be killable while it's giving your other minions extra health. But the stealth is actually good for him. If you buff him, you can kind of leave him sitting here, and then he'll pounce for free damage at a later time.
Feel the power.
Alright, I don't really care about that. I'm delighted that he spent over half his mana playing this garbage creature. And yeah, now he gets to kill off 2 of my things. He can kill, say, like the owl and the golem, but it's not enough. Forked lightning, that could be good for him, that is. So it'll kill off the golem, and then this arcane golem lives thanks to the blood imp, which is awesome. So he can now kill off 2 of my creatures. I don't think it's enough, though. He should have really flipped the totem first, if that's what he's planning to do, in case that would have been spell damage. Wow. Alright, well, it's not likely to be relevant. I only get the 1 top deck here. Shattered Sun Cleric. Well, can I win? We have 4, 6, 8, 11. Oh my god. 11, 12. So he's going to be down to 1 health. Now, what's interesting, though, is that when the Leper Gnome dies... When the Leper Gnome dies, it will deal 2 damage. Direct to my opponent. So he needs a silence for this, or else he loses. Now, can he one-shot me? I mean, Bloodlust. He could then this guy would then deal 14 damage. Plus 7 is 21. Plus 6 is actually with a Bloodlust. He could get me almost dead. Oh my gosh! If he has Bloodlust and Rockbiter Weapon, he'd actually win the game. Perhaps I should have killed this guy. My opponent would have a little bit of extra health then. Like, I could have attacked with the Leper Gnome. Oh my god, I messed up. I should have attacked this guy with my Leper Gnome. He still would be at 1 health because the Leper Gnome would have exploded instead of hitting him directly. It'd still be very difficult for him to ward everything off, but then a Bloodlust plus Rockbiter Weapon wouldn't kill me. Bloodlust plus Rockbiter Weapon would have made this guy have 10 attack. It would have hit for 20. These guys hit for 7, and Bloodlust adds another 6. So I shouldn't have done that. I gave him an out that I really didn't need to give him. Anyway, I may or may not need to pay for my mistake here, because if he doesn't have a silence, the Leper Gnome will just sacrifice itself and kill him. Well, he's making a valiant effort here. But if he doesn't have a silence, it's over. Oh no, 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 oh no! I did not mean to be a dickbag. I meant to say well played. That was a good game. Alright, so my opponent didn't have Lightning Storm, so I won. That's about it. The Hunter had an Abomination, so I lost. That Shaman didn't have Lightning Storm, so I won. That's just how it goes in the aggro world. Alright, thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and or subscribe. And if you want to see how this arena ends, then stay tuned, because I'm going to post the rest of the runs shortly. I'll see you in just a second.